On the world map, there is a place where there are no great cities, no traditional borders, no visible battlefronts. And yet, this very place is steadily becoming the center of competition among the world's greatest powers. This is the Arctic, the northernmost part of the Earth, a vast frozen region surrounding the North Pole. A place where cold is not just a season, but an identity. Where temperatures can drop to -40 degrees, where the ocean itself turns into a solid field of ice, where the sun does not rise for 6 months, and for another 6 months the night never truly disappears. For centuries, humanity considered this region unusable, a place where even the idea of life seemed impossible. But today, beneath that silent white ice, lies the secret of the world's energy future. As climate change warms the planet, Arctic ice is melting rapidly. And with that melting ice, a new global competition is emerging. This competition is not merely about controlling a piece of land. It is about the future of global trade, energy and military power. On one side stands the Western Military Alliance, NATO. On the other, the world's largest land power, Russia. But the question is, what is in the Arctic that has drawn these powers here? The answer lies beneath the ice. According to experts, the Arctic holds approximately 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its undiscovered natural gas reserves. In addition, it contains rare minerals essential for modern technologies such as smartphones, electric vehicles, satellites, and advanced military systems. These resources could shape the future of global economies and military strength. But energy reserves are not the only factor. As Arctic ice melts, a new maritime route is opening, known as the Northern Sea Route. This route reduces shipping time between Europe and Asia by nearly 40%. Where commercial ships once had to travel thousands of kilometers, through traditional routes like the Suez Canal, they can now reach their destinations faster via the Arctic. That means less fuel, lower costs, and greater profits. And whichever power controls this route could influence the future of global trade. For Russia, the Arctic is not just an economic opportunity. It is a central pillar of its defense strategy. Russia has the world's longest Arctic coastline, and over the past decade, Moscow has significantly increased its focus on the region. Old Soviet-era military bases have been reactivated. New airfields are being constructed. Advanced radar systems are being installed. Russia has also deployed its modern S-400 missile systems in various Arctic locations. In addition, Russia possesses the world's largest fleet of nuclear icebreakers. These icebreakers carve paths through the ice, allowing ships to pass. But they also serve a military purpose by enabling the movement of Russia's navy in Arctic waters. Several Russian nuclear submarines patrol beneath the frozen sea. If tensions ever escalate between NATO and Russia, these submarines could play a critical role, because if a ballistic missile were ever launched, its most likely path would pass over the Arctic. That is why the region has become vital for early missile warning systems. For Russia, control of the Arctic means energy exports, strategic military depth, and influence over the Northern Sea Route. But there is another side to the story. NATO is not standing still. The Arctic's silence is fading. When Russia reactivated its bases, installed new radar systems, and began carving shipping lanes through the ice, the West recognized the region's growing importance. The Arctic is no longer just a frozen wilderness. It has become a new strategic frontier between global powers. After 2022, the situation shifted further when NATO expanded its focus northward and Finland and Sweden joined the alliance. With their membership, most Arctic states became aligned with NATO in some form, creating new strategic pressure on Russia. Military activity in the Arctic is increasing rapidly. NATO forces are training in extreme cold conditions across icy terrain. While beneath the ice, Russian and American nuclear submarines patrol silently. These submarines are a key part of the strategic balance of power. Geographically, the Arctic represents the shortest aerial route between Russia and North America. That is why any intercontinental missile would likely pass over this region, making it crucial for early warning radar systems. At the same time, economic competition is intensifying. Russia aims to transform the Northern Sea Route into a major global trade corridor, while Western countries insist the region should remain open under international law. Meanwhile, China refers to itself as a near-Arctic state and is expanding its research and investment in the region. As the ice continues to melt, shipping traffic and military presence will increase, potentially intensifying competition even further. The Arctic is becoming a place where global powers are quietly strengthening their positions. In the coming years, it will be decided whether the Arctic becomes a region of cooperation or a new global frontline.